I get it, you scroll through endless listings of air purifiers, each promising hospital-grade filtration and smart control. But then the unit you get barely moves the dust off your coffee table, and the app crashes every time you try to change a setting. That hesitation is real, and the last thing you need is another gadget that looks amazing on a photo but ends up collecting dust in the corner of the room. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started digging into the big room segment, the first thing that stood out was how many brands try to cram the same hyper-efficient filters into a tiny housing, only to sacrifice airflow or make the unit a power hog. The IQAir HealthPro Plus XE promises a different balance. A Swiss-engineered HyperHEPA filter that traps particles down to 0.003 microns, a smart system that adjusts fan speed based on real-time air quality, and an energy-efficient motor that keeps electricity bills reasonable even when you run it 24/7. Those are the claims, but the real question is whether they translate into everyday life. I've been testing the 3-unit pack in a 2,000 square foot house with an open-plan kitchen, a home office, and a master bedroom that doubles as a small gym. The first thing I noticed is the footprint. Each unit is about the size of a large bookshelf, and they're packaged in 2 boxes that need a signature on delivery. That isn't a problem if you have a dedicated space, but if you're living in a tight apartment, you'll have to plan where to put them. In my case, I set one in the kitchen, one in the office, and the third in the bedroom. The placement mattered. The kitchen unit dealt with cooking smoke and pet dander. The office handled pollen that drifted in through the window, and the bedroom unit kept the air fresh for a post-workout recovery. The smart integration is where the HealthPro Plus XE shows its practical side. Using the companion app, I could see a live PM 2.5 reading, temperature, and humidity. The system automatically bumped the fan to turbo when I was cooking a stir-fry that sent a plume of oil into the air, then dialed back down once the sensor reported cleaner air. That automatic adjustment saved me from having to guess which setting to use, and the noise level stayed under 45 dB on normal operation, quiet enough for a conference call or a night of sleep. The Wi-Fi connectivity was solid. I didn't experience the dropouts that plague some cheaper models, and the app schedule feature let me set the purifier to run higher during the night when I'm most vulnerable to allergens. On the downside, the HyperHEPA filter is impressive on paper, but the real-world maintenance cost is something to consider. A single filter lasts roughly 12 to 18 months in a typical home with moderate usage, according to the manufacturer. At the retail price, each filter replacement can run you close to $200. If you have smokers, pets, or live in a high-pollen area, you'll probably hit the lower end of that lifespan and need to replace more often. That's a recurring expense that can make the total cost of ownership higher than a comparable unit with a less aggressive filter but cheaper consumables. Another practical weakness is the lack of a built-in air quality sensor that measures volatile organic compounds, VOCs. The system does a great job with particulates, dust, pollen, smoke, even some viruses, but if you're dealing with strong cooking odors, paint fumes, or chemical cleaners, the unit won't automatically boost its fan based on those gases. You can still increase the fan manually, but you lose the set-it-and-forget-it convenience that some competitors market as an all-in-one solution. So who should actually buy the HealthPro Plus XE? If you have a large living space, think over 1,000 SQFT, and you're serious about removing the tiniest particles from the air, this is a solid choice. It's especially worth it for families with asthma sufferers, for people who work from home and need a consistently clean environment, or for anyone who wants a smart device that genuinely reacts to air quality without constant manual tweaking. The Swiss precision engineering gives you confidence that the unit will keep running for years, and the HyperHEPA filtration is among the few technologies that can claim to capture viruses and ultrafine particles that standard HEPA filters miss. On the flip side, if you're living in a small apartment, or you're primarily concerned with odors and VOCs rather than fine particulates, you might be better off with a compact purifier that includes an activated carbon pre-filter and a lower upfront price. Likewise, if you're on a tight budget and don't want to factor in the high cost of filter replacements, there are other models that offer decent particle removal for a fraction of the price, albeit without the same level of filtration fidelity. From a value-for-money perspective, the HealthPro Plus XE shines when you look beyond the initial sticker price and consider the health benefits of removing the smallest allergens and potential pathogens from the air. For a household that deals with regular wildfire smoke, heavy pet shedding,